What's going on, guys? Coming at you today with a very exciting recipe. We are going to make fried donut holes. I was searching on the internet, keto donuts, and the first like 200 to 300 search results, they're all these baked dry donuts. They're really bad. We have a recipe on our website for some dry baked donuts. You can make those if you want, but you really have to do some digging to find a classic fried donut recipe. That's what we're gonna be making today. We're gonna be making donut holes because you can't really make round donuts with this type of dough. You just have to kind of scoop it into the frying oil. Big question people have is, what should I use for frying oil? So of course, you want to avoid the cheap stuff, the canola oil. It is really good for frying, it's just terrible for your health. The best route to go as far as affordable keto-friendly frying oil goes is coconut oil, and I usually just get the cheap stuff. This was on sale. This whole thing I think was probably like $6 or $8. So, you know, don't worry about quality when you're going with the frying. That would be my take. So you can fry up some donuts for, I don't know, a few bucks worth of oil. And then another tip is gonna be use a saucepan. That's gonna be best for frying just because you don't need so much oil to get the volume you're looking for. You can get by with just a little bit. So to begin with, we're gonna start with our frying oil. We're probably gonna use about a cup, maybe even a little more than a cup. So just get the coconut oil in there and bring it up to temperature. I might even say we're gonna do about 2 cups worth here. So we're gonna let that heat. Now, optional, you may wanna have a little thermometer on deck just to be sure what the temperature is. You don't need it if you kinda know your burner. Now, while this is heating up, we're gonna get our dough mixture going for the donuts. We're gonna start with 3/4 of a cup of almond flour. That is pretty much the base of the dough. To that, we're gonna be adding some pharmaceutical grade psyllium husk powder. We usually don't buy it like this. We usually buy it like similar packaging to the almond flour. I don't know why Mega got this one. I think that's all they had. So we're gonna add 2 tablespoons, and this is just, if you're unfamiliar, it's a fiber. So it's pretty much non-digestible. It just really helps with, it's what's in Metamucil. It really helps with the consistency and the texture of baked goods though, for keto. It's very necessary for this recipe. We're gonna add a teaspoon of baking powder. This will give it some nice airiness to the dough when it bakes up or fries up. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons of erythritol. This is a keto-friendly 0-calorie sweetener. And we're also gonna do some stevia to make it a little bit sweeter too. We're gonna do 15 drops and a pinch of salt. We're gonna set the dry ingredients aside for a second. We're gonna melt some butter, just 1 tablespoon, in the microwave. Okay, so I have the melted butter here, and every once in a while, I just like to pop the thermometer in and let's see what's going on with the temperature. It takes quite a bit of time to get up to temperature, so we're hovering in like the 150s. So I'm gonna add the melted butter right in here with the dry ingredients. Just gonna kind of whisk this together, break up those big clumps. We're also gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla extract for flavor, and 2 whole eggs. And that is the batter. Now we just gotta whisk it up, mix it together. It should form a pretty thick dough. Okay, and there's the dough. You can see really kind of sticks together, pretty thick. It's gonna continue to thicken over the next couple minutes, and we're waiting for the oil to come up to temperature now. Okay, so we're at about 275. Okay, so we're gonna start with a test run because you may need to refrigerate this dough just to get it to hold together while it fries. That initial heat might break it apart, but let's just see. I'm gonna use a cookie scooper here. Here we go. Big money, no whammy. Okay, looks like it's holding together pretty good. So you just wanna keep an eye on these, flip them a few times, a couple minutes each side. You can really just, the easiest way to tell is by the color when it starts getting golden brown. And if it gets brown too quickly before the interior cooks, you can turn the heat down on the oil, which I'm gonna do right now. Because these should take about 4 minutes to fully cook through. If yours get too brown before 4 minutes, you know your temperature might just be a little too high. The first one we're removing. And then an easy way to reduce the temperature of your oil quickly, be careful though, do not spill the oil. Just lift it off the heat a little bit. That cools it down pretty quickly. So now we'll do a batch of a few, probably do like 3 or 4 at a time. Whoa.
What's your favorite type of donut?
I mean, it's gotta be Tim Hortons Boston cream, pretty much.
Boston cream in general?
Yeah, but Tim Hortons specifically.
But what about just in general?
Boston cream.
So if we were like a artisanal...
Like an eclair type of donut is kind of similar to Boston cream. And a lot of the recipes we make, guys, they're not really like everyday recipes. The way that I use food blogs, I don't use food blogs for like my everyday cooking really, right? I mainly, on like a weekend when I wake up, I want something fancy, I want to impress Mega and Theo, you know, I'll cook up something like this. It takes a little bit more work, but that's a lot of the recipes we make. Although we do have some good every night style dinners and stuff too on the website, ketoconnect.net. So I turned the temperature down and this second batch is definitely coming out a little better. I'm gonna remove these. So I'm gonna fry up the rest of these and then we'll be back for a taste test. Donuts are done and it ended up making 7 with one big one. So one thing, when you use psyllium husk, you usually end up with a pretty doughy, you can see like, it's a nice feeling, it's soft on the inside, pretty crispy on the outside, kind of like a yeast-based donut, but it is gonna be a little bit more bready than that. And as far as what you can do now, these are already lightly sweet. You can top them with erythritol. You can top them with like cocoa powder, just like, you know, do some kind of dusting on top. I would probably just do something more basic, like dip it in some nut butter. This is some hazelnut butter. That's what I'm gonna do. Even just like tossing them in some butter could be good. You could use like maple syrup or like sugar-free maple syrup. Different things like that. A lot of options. I like to usually just keep it basic though. First, let me just grab one of these from the second batch here. And we can see the interior. Nice and crisp, a little doughy on the inside. Nice sweet smell. Oh, you could also add cinnamon to the dough. That could be pretty good. Satisfying, substantial. Yeah, really substantial feeling. Sort of a blank canvas still. It has a nice sweet flavor. You get the crispiness, you get a nice fried taste. If you don't like coconut oil, you can't really taste any coconut flavor. The main flavor, I guess, is the fried, just like a fried flavor, which is good, which is kind of what you're looking for. So this would be really enjoyable on its own. I think some kind of topping or something would make it even better though. So I'm gonna do like some hazelnut butter, which we got for the first time like last week. It's not as good as it sounds. Plop that in there. Yeah, real good. Yeah, this is a really great recipe and it's pretty unique, one of a kind. I haven't seen much like this online. So if you are looking for an actual fried donut recipe, ketoconnect.net, that's the food blog. That's where all the recipes are. Make this one. You can also try making our baked keto donuts. They're just really dry. All of the baked donuts online, they're pretty dry. So give this one a try. Let me know what you think. Let me know what kind of toppings, flavors you add to it. And thanks for watching.